So let's take a look at the start list for heat number 4. From Chile, Macarena, Perez, Grasset. From China, Van Xiaotong. Then from Australia, 2 riders. We have Sarah Scotnicki and Natalia Dlehm. And from China, Sun Jiaqi. And from Germany, Lara Lessmann.
Talking to Sarah Nicki yesterday, she was enjoying the course as well. She enjoyed the layout. Not had time to catch up with Natalia yet, but Natalia's definitely been putting the a shift in recently, learning new tricks. You know, anybody who follows her Instagram, follows her socials, you see she puts a lot of hard work in, you know?
Yeah, she's a real pioneer. A couple of months ago at the event in Manchester, she was the first woman to do that flare tire grab,
yeah.
Pardon me. But then a couple of weeks ago in Shanghai, in the spine ramp, she did the same thing on a way smaller setup.
She's really been putting the work in. So as you said, we just got a little delay at the moment, just whilst one of the riders unfortunately hit the deck at some point. We're not sure who that rider is at this stage, but so as you can see there, some of the course layout. There's that center section Egon was talking about earlier, and there's that huge, you know, spine ramp that we said. That's going to see some action today.
I'm really curious which riders are going to be gapping into. I'm going to call it the cheese grater.
The cheese grater.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody calls that the chease grater.
And then here in the middle, one of the new creations by Hurricane Parks is that jumbo spine, 12 foot high. For all my Europeans, that's 3.5 meters. Okay, and now Maka is putting away the umbrella. Our MC Catfish and Lucy, we're getting ready as well to hype up the crowd here in the Riyadh. And then we're just waiting for Maka to drop in 60 seconds. The park is all hers.
Yeah, Daniel.
And dropping in 60 seconds, starting off with a nice gap into the other end of the park, getting ready to hit the box, starting off with the backflip.
Yeah.
Sticking the landing, toboggan, turning the bars, holding onto the seat. One of the classic tricks in BMX Freestyle. Oh, look at that, over that gap.
Yo! Huge click turn down over the spine. The first big trick was seen on the spine, as if you lands a little flat on that one, but that's all right. She's got the speed still. That's why that big wall is there. Yeah, lazy one-hander. It's a solid first run. It's always the worst being the first rider in, Egon, right?
Especially after seeing a crash from one of your teammates, one of the other, even though it's one of your competitors, still, they're all friends. Yes, tail whip straight to the pedals. Good execution by Maka.
What she got now as Maka wraps it up in the final 5 seconds. It's so scary being the first rider in, as you said, as well, being the first rider after somebody's just crashed as well. It gets the nerves going. You saw her take a big, deep breath before she dropped in earlier. And I mean, I can't imagine the tension up there on that platform. As we've said earlier, the weather has just been incredible over the past few days, but on that platform, it is hot. Well done, Maka. Solid first run. That settles it. You do that first run, you get out there, you do that first run well, you get that under the belt, and it settles the nerves, you know?
Yeah.
Then you have that confidence in that second run, then you're like, okay, here we go. That's
your riding as well. If you can keep a good composure on your bike, show that you're here for business. Look at that. Starting off with that backflip, spotting the landing, 2 wheels back on the ground.
Yeah.
That's the lazy one-hander, one of the classic tricks.
Big look back as well. Those 2 quarter pipes at the end there that we just saw there on that last trick, and then that center bank section today and over the next few days as well. A lot of riders really enjoying that section. That middle bank gives you a little bit of safety, you know, to try tricks that maybe you're a little bit scared of or are a little bit bigger. It gives you a bit of a safety landing, gives you a bigger landing to aim for. Shows you there how hot it is. Look, we've got the ice pack straight on Maka, getting hydrated.
Okay, so Maka trying to cool down a bit before she gets her second run in about 10 minutes. the national champion of Chile. The results are in 68.8, putting her in the 8th spot right now, but she still needs a second score as well.
Big smile on face though, and like you say, it's scary being a first rider, but you get that first run done, and all of a sudden the nerves get settled. You saw that smile break on her face then, and you could see she was feeling a bit more relaxed.
Thank you, Lucy.
Next rider, Fan Xiaotong from China.
Came third in Abu Dhabi not very long ago in the World Cup.
All right, we're ready with our next rider.
And also the national champion of China. Can she get another spot on the podium this year here in Riyadh?
Oh, seems to be chilled, seems to be settled under the wing, as we said, of Daniel Dares. Big thumbs up. Come on then. Xiaotong Fan, let's see what we got. Run number 1. Second rider in, big, huge tuck no-hander. Then up high over the window on the big wall. Up over the box, yes, backflip. That was smooth. Tire to tire in the landing, just about as good as you can get it. Yeah, there's a big T-bog over the box at the far end, nice and high on that wall. Everybody's using that to gather the speed with a big whip. Pedal to pedal, clean as you like. Bar spin into that big bank, that's what I was saying. Some of those scarier tricks gonna be doing that. Spreads the wings on that one. Big turn down. Back into the action, takes the long route over that. Yeah, spreads the wings again. You've got to at that altitude. Big bar spin and dips that nose in as well. Gets that clean. The judges are going to enjoy that. And then not only can you go over that big spine, you can also use it again to come back into this side of the course. Oh, cliffhanger. Yes.
We haven't seen that one in a while. That was a trick made popular by Iveta Mikulichova from the Czech Republic. And now Fan Xiaotong is doing that one as well. And she was hitting every obstacle possible on this setup, tricking every obstacle as well.
Well, we said about it at the beginning, right? We said it's the kind of use of course. What parts of the course you're using, more importantly, the judges are looking at what parts aren't you using? Are you scared of something? Is it not in your run? Is it not in your repertoire? You saw Daniel Dares there, huge smile under his face. First rider in for him, solid work. You could tell there's a bit of confidence with that thumbs up at the beginning. And this is what we say about risk factor. That early backflip in the run, you know? It's a high consequence trick early on. Same with the tail whip. That was really early on. Pedal to pedal, clean in the landing. You can't land that any better.
And that is also the first impression for the judges as well. If you start off with a trick that big, they will be looking at you.
Exactly that. Again, I love this as well. Bars, but then dips that nose in. You got to get that nose in, continues with the speed.
Oh, and then holding the head tube with her feet and spreading those arms to balance it out.
Yeah, settle. You can see the nerves settle as soon as they finish their run.
86.68, jumping to the top of the leaderboard after that first run.
And we're ready to go with our next rider.
Wow, taking that top spot from fellow teammate.
And from China, we're going to Australia. One of the younger riders here, Scotnicki, ready to drop in. When she's not coaching kids, she's competing on the highest level of BMX freestyle. Look at how high she goes on that UCI wall, hitting the Tissot box. Backflip. Yo! Nice, he does it.
Oh!
Yes, flare.
There you go.
One of the tricks you need if you want to be in the finals.
She's showing the judges early what she's got, you know?
Oh, look at that. One-footed X up to Can-Can.
Love that. She's a ball of energy this one. Yo, bars to Can. Doing it at some height as well. We've still got 20 seconds left on the clock.
20 seconds.
Come on, Sarah, you got this.
Yeah.
No foot Can-Can, stretching those legs.
Coming up to the 10-second mark now. Little manual across. Getting some speed up on that back wall again. She's getting nice and high on that. Up and over. There's a little speed tweak. Table to finish it off. And as the buzzer goes, I think Scotnicki's going to be very happy with that run. You can see, there's the face, there's the love heart.
A lot of unique combinations that we've seen. 3 tricks at once. So the 1 one-footed X up, so crossing the arms, 1 foot off, and then getting that foot over the top tube again into the can-can position.
Yeah, solid work. As I said, she's a bundle of energy. We saw her, hung out with her a bit yesterday for sure. Even the crowd around, she was dancing with people. There you go. One of the riders choosing to use the full face helmet, of course, that's the rider's decision. She tagged the back wheel a little bit on that one, but didn't stop her.
There we go, no foot. That no foot can-can.
Yeah.
Getting a nice extension on those legs, which is gonna help her to score the points. The better the execution, the higher the points. And that was that bar spin to can-can.
Solid work. Certainly put that energy to good use. What's the result coming in? Where are we looking at? 82.10. Scotnicki sneaking it into third place. Putting that energy to some good use. Well done, Sarah. So from one Australian to another, one who's probably a little bit better known, Natalia Dlehm. I was saying earlier, this girl puts a lot of work in. You know, she suffered with some injuries last year. She got over them. She's been learning trick after trick after trick. Follow her on her socials. You get to see how hard this girl works.
The Olympic rings on her wrists.
Right, what are we going to get from her then? Drops in, straight up. Yo! Couple of tricks for the price of one on that one. Yeah, big tower whip straight out the gates. Again, high consequence tricks. Big tower whip on the big quarter. Up and over, spreads the wings on that one. Gets it wide, straight into the
Yes!
She's not been doing them that long either. She put loads of work into learning them. Yeah, Natalia, keep it going. Nice and high, getting the speed as she comes back over Egon.
Perfect 360.
Halfway that first run, no-hander from Natalia Dlehm. She is on a run so far. Sorry, lost for words there for a minute. Keep it going, no-hander. Natalia is here for redemption after Feast Shanghai, the last World Cup. Tabletop, 10 more seconds. Thus, she still has some energy for a last couple of tricks. On the big spine, 1-footer and time for Natalia Dlehm.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad she landed that tail whip, that flare, because those are some tricks like she has them locked in practice, but sometimes because of the nerves in the finals, she can mess them up just a bit. But now, like, she was in total control of her bike.
You know what? Early on in her career, you know, high pressure would get to her, and those kind of moves would be kind of moves that she would maybe slip up on. But she had a bit of a riot of confidence in her smile there. And there was that early tower whip. Look, the adjustment at the feet to get back onto that pedal. Big 360 over and gets that clean as you like. Spreads her wings on that one. And then up high, there's that flare. Again, you say about, you know, the effort it takes to learn tricks. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into learning that flare. And that whole ramp setup at that bottom end, those 2 quarter pipes into that big bank section is just made for it. There you go.
Perfect run. Natalia Dlehm. She's got to be stoked on that one.
So another look at the Hurricane Park setup here in Riyadh. So we're waiting for that score to come in for Natalia Dlehm.
Yeah, Natalia.
On a stationary bike, 83.68.
Oh!
Let's go Team Australia.
Sneaks it into second place. She's going to be stoked with that.
We are ready to go with our next athlete. Representing Team
Next rider, Sun Jiaqi from China.
There we go. Sun Jiaqi. Double arms up.
The silver medal from the last Chinese National Championships. Just missing out on the podium at last World Championships in Abu Dhabi, starting off with that tail whip on the big spine. Getting that flow, ready to, oh yes, backflip bar spin. Can, she is hitting every obstacle on the course, trying to trick them all. Building up that speed again, here we go, 360.
Oh, it's a biggie over that thing. Bars to X as well into that big bank. over with the tire grab. Nice and high on the back wall. Head into the big box section again. 360 X up, gets it smooth. Kind of stopped it at 270, then brought it round in that last second. Another T-bog over. One of the riders choosing to ride brakeless, of course, as well.
It's all about style here in Riyadh. With brakes, without brakes, pegs on the bike or not. Each rider has that individual riding style. Oh, tail whip to bar spin. That is a new one for her. And that is going to be time for Sun Jiaqi. Will this be her weekend?
There's the coach. Look at that smile. And from the teammates and from the fans. Sun Jiaqi, he's going to be stoked with that one. I mean, some big tricks. I think we're going to see a little shake up at the top of the leaderboard there. We'll check out a couple of the replays now. Egon, straight away, getting that tail whip in.
Yes.
Over the biggest ramp there.
And the backflip X up, crossing the bars while you're midair, upside down. Really good run. I mean, she must be motivated because last year just missing out on that podium. You're here with a mission.
Waiting for the results, eagerly awaiting. Oh, of course, Sun Jiaqi. I thought that was going to happen. Takes top of the leaderboard current rankings at the moment, as you can see there. Out of all of these riders, only 12 is going to qualify today, but I'm pretty sure Sun Jiaqi has confirmed her spot with that first place.
And then from China to Germany to Lara Marie Lessmann.
In goes Lara then, drops in.
Oh,
no!
A pedal slip. Come on, Lara, back on that bike.
She went for a little crank flip, little kick flip as she went in and just slipped the pedals as she hit that bank. But it's right at the beginning of the run, so shouldn't harm things too much. She seems to be settled back in again now. Up and over, there you go, there's the bar spin. Yeah, big look back into the big bank. Up and over, yeah, one-footed X up over the big spine. Coming back at it now, bit of speed, back over the box, big turn down to Can. Sneaks a couple of tricks in there, transfer pocket with the X up in there as well. Tags a back end on that one, but she's got enough speed to get decent air to come back over. And the transfer, I think that's the first person we've seen do that little line. Foot plant on the back wall. Final 10 seconds, Egon.
Come on, Lara, keep it going. After that slip, she is a resilient rider. She kept it going. It's all about scoring 2 perfect runs here in qualifications. One-footed one-hander. And she's back on the deck. The silver medalist from the first World Championships in 2017 in Chengdu, Lara Marie Lessmann. But how will that pedal slip affect her score?
Yeah, we'll see. I think, you know what? The good thing was it happened instantly. All right. Here goes Lara then. At the beginning, gave it a little smile. And there it was.
Yeah.
Look, just the slip there. Just as she landed. But we were talking about the first 3 seconds of the run there. Things then settled in. She then got into it. Look at that. Turned down to that 1 foot count step through. There's the little pocket. That is a little pocket air X up into that, transferring over.
And that requires a lot of technique, jumping from one end of the quarter pipe into the other one, especially when it's a bit back as well.
Yeah, and that look back transfer as well. We're not seeing anybody do that transfer just as yet. First one in for that. I don't think it's going to hurt the score too much, but you can see the disappointment. We wait for the results, but you can see the disappointment was, you know, palpable on her face there. It was that little slip at the beginning. You know, these riders have every second of their run down to a fine tee, you know. But I think actually when something goes wrong at the beginning, you just get on. If it happens right in the middle, sometimes it can really put you off kilter. But I think at the beginning...
But she has that constant experience. I mean, she has been around since the first World Championship in 2017 in Chengdu.
And she showed that experience pure there. Right, sounds like the points are through. Lara's going to learn the same time as us. Oh, 65.72. Obviously the judges penalising that early slip-up. That's why I'm glad I'm in the commentary booth and not in the judging booth.
But still, Lara has a second run. But first, the second run for the national champion of Chile from Macarena, Perez.
Back to the top of the running order. She's a two-time
Just getting
Olympian.
ready in her zone. The music in her ears. And the course is going to be all for Maca.
There you go, he takes that final deep breath, drops in, the timer starts when that wheel heads over the coping. Up and over, little transfer. Nice and high on that back wall, getting some speed, gets a pedal in as well, because she needed it for that big backflip. Yeah, T-bog on the air quarter as well. Floats across, little transfer across from right to left there, nice and high on that wall again. Maca up and over, yeah, turn down, gets it clicked, holds it for as long as possible. Then spreads the wings on that one, 30 seconds left, Egon.
So halfway the second run, already a very decent score, but it's the 2 runs that will count for a total. So Maca has to keep it going here in Riyadh. Yes, toboggan, twisting the bars, holding that seat, and the more you dip it, the better the execution. Tail whip, oh, back on the bike, 10 more seconds, Maca.
See, it just took a bit of the speed out of her run there. Last couple of seconds, she gonna sneak anything else in? Not before the buzzer goes off. Now, if you heard the buzzer there, you'd think, oh, well, she aired that. The rider's tires have to be on flat ground when the buzzer goes for it to count. So even if they catch it and they're in the transition or on the landing, it doesn't count unless the wheels are on flat ground. I think I said at the beginning of that one as well, the timer starts second.
There we have it, starting off with the backflip. As we said, it's about making that first impression. Good posture, good execution. And let's see what happened here in the tail. So she kicks it around, catches it.
Oh, it's just that back foot. Didn't find the pedal. You can see a little bit of disappointment. Says to the crowd, ah.
And that's also a matter of start out learning still try to land on the cranks or the crank spindle. But if you land it to the pedals, I mean, it's going to give you more points in execution style, but a lot of risk involved as well.
There's a lot of talk in the sport about landing on a crank arm. So the cranks are the bits that hold the pedals, and like as Egon said, as the riders bring their feet in, a lot of the riders will just try and find those crank arms. Kind of, although it's a smaller platform, it's also like a longer platform, so you've got more to kind of aim for. But there's a big discussion about that within the sport about, you know, maybe you should just get it straight to the pedals. But she did it the first time, and it was pedal to pedal that first time. Just on that last one, something not quite right. The back foot didn't make it onto the pedal, and let's see how the judges have scored that. Some of the crowd, some of the riders going in. Yeah, Maca, she's waiting, eagerly awaiting the scores there.
So from that first run was a 68.80. And we're gonna have that average of run number 1 and run number 2. So let's see, second run, 64.60, giving her the 66.70 and the 13th place for Maca.
She's just out the qualifying zone there. You see the green cue, that's the all important, and you can see the disappointment in her face. These World Championships mean so much to these riders.
So we're going back to Xiaotong from China, Chinese national champion. Getting cheered on by head coach for Team China, Daniel Dares. And as soon as that wheel rolls over the coping, we're gonna hit the timer, 60 seconds, starting off with that no-hander over the mega spine. Look at that, building up that speed, hitting the box, backflip. And lining up for the box again, yes, toboggan. The better you twist the bars, the higher the points for execution. Tail whip, Straight to the pedals again, bar spin. Trying to hit every obstacle possible. Yes, throwing the hands back in that no-hander.
Yeah, big T-bog over, transferring across, spreads the wings, straight up quarter air, bar spin, and there's that dipped in again. She gets it again, 15 seconds on the clock, so the last few trick time now. Didn't sneak a trick in there, but looks like building a bit of speed up to come back over the box. Oh, there we go. Bar spin into the bank as well. The last couple of seconds, and that is gonna wrap it up. Yeah. Smile on face, wheels on floor. That is a good second run, a solid second run. I can safely say that will have secured her into the finals.
There's less than 5 people at BMX.
Look at some of those replays. Everybody feeling the crowd here today. Starts it off with that huge backflip, got that speed off the big wall at the back there, and coming back again, as you can see. There's that tail whip, and there's pedal to pedal, you see. No crank arm in that. Big turn down. Love that.
Who knows, maybe this weekend, jumping from bronze to gold.
Good. All right, we wait for the points to come in. There we are. Sitting in second place. Yeah, dominating at the top of the leaderboard at the moment. First and second, China flags.
If I'm not mistaken, virtually qualified already. But we still have some more riders to go in this heat and also in the next heat as well.
Oh yeah.
First up, second run will be Sarah Nikki.
Yeah, the Australian flag flying this time.
Australian cycling, this is Sarah Nikki!
The energy ball that is Sarah Nikki.
So one of the youngest riders here, 18 years old. And she has the honor to represent Team Australia here halfway across the world for her. A long way from home with that backflip.
Big backflip.
Oh, Claire, look at the speed of that rotation.
Yeah, that was super fast, super powerful. She's currently sitting in 5th place at the moment, but she's not leaving anything to chance. Love that. 3 tricks in the price of 1. Super high on that back wall. She comes back.
Yo, the bar spin to Can.
She's in the flow. She's in the zone. She's loving it. Tagged a bit of back wheel on that one.
A bundle of energy, Sarah Nikki. Hitting that spine, yes, come on. Lining up here again on the other end of the park. Come on, Sarah. Can. X up. Last seconds, one more, tabletop, and the wheels are on the ground, so that will count for the total score.
Well, currently sitting in 5th place at the moment on the leaderboard. Is that going to have bettered her spot in that leaderboard?
Now let's have a look at this season for her. Oceanic Continental Championship title, 2nd at Australian Nationals, and 2 wins in C1 contests.
And then here today in Riyadh, huge backflip to start off. And there was that super powerful. She landed so high up in that bank. Massive flare. And then there's the bars with the can in there as well. Just as you're catching those bars as it comes back round, you sneak that foot across. Sarah Nikki, well done, Sarah. She's really feeling the love for the crowd. All right, so it gives an average of 80.94. So as we were saying, both those scores get tallied up and you get an average of both scores. That's why it's all important that both runs count.
Rider that finishes that second run. We're finding out more and more of who's going to be venturing into the finals tomorrow. But second run here for Natalia Dlehm. Yes, starting off with that toboggan combination. Nice and clean, ready to hit the Saudi box. Tail whip straight to the pedals. As we said before, Seb, this is a trick she has been struggling with, but this weekend, she is in total control. She owns those tail whips.
Yeah, and she just nailed that flare as well into the big bank. That setup is just perfect for us. Exactly the kind of spot she learned it on. So she must have been smiling when she saw that setup, and she's put it to some good use. This time with the tuck no-hander, big X up. Nice and high transfer into that big wall. If they're transferring from one ramp from another, that's what we mean by that transfer. Now heading towards the box. Big 360, floats it nice and slow. Bit of steez for the last few seconds. Natalia gets an X up on the big bank, and I think that table is going to seal it. Yeah, Natalia's going to be stoked with that, I think. Natalia there, she could arm wrestle a grizzly bear and win. She's made of strong stuff, is Natalia. Vicky as well.
That's something that I really like about Natalia as well. She is really open about the struggles of being a professional athlete, especially about the days that it does not work out as you intended to. So that's why I'm so happy that this run, like, she was dominating the course.
It's interesting you say that. Social media really brings a part of that. It gives you that insight into some of these riders. You think these riders just turn up sometimes and are just kind of programmed machines. Like, they're going to do good. This is what they train at. But they're human beings. They're nervous. The struggle has been real hard sometimes. Injuries, Life things happen as well along the way. They're not immune to any of the normal stuff in life. There's Lucy Mills.
Helping to cool down Maca after she wrapped up her 2 runs. But now, what will be the score for the second run of Natalia Dlehm? Will it be enough for those final spots, the final 12?
There we are, 83.99 as the average of both of those scores, and sits nicely into 3rd spot. I think she's going to be pretty stoked with that. Knocks Sarah down into 6th place. But I think Natalia is going to be stoked with that. And then look, we see the China flag flying.
Next up will be Sun Jiaqi.
Well, put a solid run number 1 down. What's Sun going to do for run number 2? Gives the crowd a little hello before we get ready to drop in. And this is what I mean, this is where the nerves are. You're sitting at the top of that platform, and now all the training, it is all over to you. In we go. Sun Jiaqi then, oh my goodness, straight out. High consequence trick, straight out the gates, a tail whip over the biggest ramp on the course. Oh my goodness, was that a bars? Bars backflip, and then straight into an air on the quarter with the can, then the tuck no-hander over the box, coming back now. Up and over, big 3. That time over the spine.
Getting nice and high on that X-up transfer. Tapping the front tire. Halfway the second run. 360 X-up, yes. Oh, one-footed X-up. Getting all creative in here.
As we creep towards the last 10-second mark, the buzzer will go so the rider knows. And it's down to them to wrap it up. Here we go, 1 foot can, steps it all the way across, gets it clicked, big tail whip. Oh! Gets the tail whip, trying to X. Or was it to bars? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I want to see that in replay if that's possible.
We can see that in replay. She slipped the pedals. It was right at the end of the run in the dying couple of seconds.
So that was a 2-trick combination, starting off with that tail whip, so whipping that back end of your
big as well.
Bike around, so whipping that framer out, and then still having the time, twisting the bars or throwing the bars.
Yeah, were we getting an X-up or were we getting a bar spin? Hard to tell, but up and high. This was the first trick out the gate, a big tail whip, straight over the biggest ramp on the course, the big spine, and there's the bars backflip. I was unsure whether that was an X-up backflip or a bars backflip. But that one was a bars backflip and a huge 3.
Look at that, how she tucks in that can-can, and then...
And there we go. Oh, it was to X.
X up, yeah.
It was. It tail whip to X up, and just, as you can imagine, the bike's coming around from that tail whip, then you're twisting the bars. That stops the bike. As she goes to get the feet back on the pedals there, just slips off the pedals, but in the dying seconds of the run, I would hope it won't. There you go, points are up, 89.32. She's sitting, Sun's actually sitting in first place, even with a pedal slip.
And almost breaking that 19-point barrier for the total score. Well, she did have the 92 in the first run, the 86 because of the minor slip in that second one, but still, what a feat, what a run by Sun Jiaqi.
I wonder who's going to be the first one to get the 90 mark.
But next up, the pioneer in BMX freestyle for women. She's been around since the first World Championship. Lara Marie Lessmann.
Right, let's see what Lara's got for us then. She did that crank flip in earlier. Sometimes we call them a kick flip in, taking it to skateboarding, but kicking those cranks around and trying to get the feet back on. And it was the first thing she did last time. What are we going to see this time?
Oh, it's a crank flip drop in.
Didn't let it phase her. She just went for it again.
Yeah. She wanted to own that trick. Show who's boss here on the bike. And that is Lara. Look at that. Look back. Another thing worth mentioning is Lara will change pedal position during her run. So right foot forward, turn down.
Prime example just then.
Left foot forward, X up. So depending on the direction she's going, she will switch the pedals because that helps her with her riding style.
And the judges are looking for that kind of thing as well, right?
It's that uniqueness in the riding style that we talked about. Foot plant on the wall. Come on.
Takes a little sting out the tail there, a bit out the speed, but looks like she's carrying on, no problem. Speed's built back up again. One-footed X over that far end. I think a 1 foot can on that one. Oh, yeah, a little fast plant on the big spine. 1 foot X again. Looks like we're going to a tire tap in. Let's see many of those in a run. She finishes it off there. Hard to tell whether she's going to be pleased with that one, but as you said, there you go, puts a smile out. And as you said, she did that crank flip right at the beginning. The judges know the pressure that she must be under. Is she going to leave it? You know, is she going to leave that and go for a safety just drop in? Instead,
we discussed this, it's about that risk factor. I mean, it is a high risk trick.
Straight out the gate.
What's the high reward to it as well? Oh, look at that, the knack.
Oh, the knack, yes.
And up
Only rider we've seen get up on that wall ride. Took a little sting out the tail there, a bit out of speed, but...
Yeah, and that is something that judges will be looking at as well. It's about, you know, having a good landing, keeping that speed, keeping that flow and momentum.
Yep. The execution of those tricks and how smooth you land in. So Lara's currently sitting in 14th place, I believe, at the moment. And as we said, both scores count. You get an average of both scores, and that is the final score for you. So for that first one, because of that slip at the beginning, she ended up with a 65.72. So you're going to have to see something pretty high here. Only that top 12 that are going to qualify to tomorrow's final, of course. Getting absolutely terrorized by a fly in the commentary booth here. There's our VIP area at the moment. That was packed out yesterday evening.
I think it's the German teammate for Lara Lessmann. That's Liliana Seidler.
There's the all-important judges. Those are the scores we're waiting for. Put those judges in some shade because they're under some pressure, that's for sure. Oh, look. There's to come Hannah Roberts.
So we're going to wrap up the second run here for this heat of riders for Lara Lessmann, 73.16 and a total of 69.44.
So she's snuck into the final qualifying place at the moment, but I don't want to put a, I do not want to put a bad tone on it, but we've got a good few riders, 6 riders left to drop in yet, and only that's 6 riders she's going to have to hope.
I mean, anything can happen in the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
So we're going to give a bit of warm-up time to the next athletes in the next heat. If I'm not mistaken, we will be having from Germany, Klm Lea Muller. Team Great Britain, Sasha Pardoe. From the US, the reigning world champion, Hannah Roberts. From Colombia, Queen Villegas Serna. From Japan, Miharu Ozawa. And Sun Sibei from China. So these 6 riders still have a shot of making it into the final 12 for tomorrow's finals. And also, so in this heat, Hannah Roberts, gold medal from last year, and Sun Sibei, the silver. So Sun Sibei will be on a mission. And Hannah has been on top of the game ever since we started these Urban Cycling World Championships. So since 2017, so that has been a total of 7 World Championships. 6 times Hannah Roberts was on top of the podium. Only in 2018, it was Perez Villegas who took the win, and Hannah got the bronze medal.
So we saw some interesting mix-ups at the top of the leaderboard down. Not surprised if we're going to see some more mix-ups with the next group, though, for sure.
If there's one thing that we can talk about, that is the absolute Chinese domination. So right now, we already have 5 riders that are virtually qualified in tomorrow's finals. We still have 1 more rider to come. That is going to be Sun Sibei, the silver medal from last year's World Championships. But it could happen that we will be seeing 6 riders out of the 12 in finals.
Yeah.
Okay, first rider will be Klm Lea Muller, European champion. She got that title earlier in October in Eindhoven, and it's with that positive attitude that how you know how to ride your bike. Okay, ready to drop in. Klm Lea Muller doing it for Team Germany, starting off with that X up, picking up that speed on the high end of the course. And there we have it, 360 one-handed X up, alley-oop, bar spin. She's mixing the new tricks with the older tricks. It's about having those combinations, showing that creativity that you have. Tire grab over the jumbo spine. Yes, bar spin, halfway that first run for Klm Lea Muller.
Super high again, the speed, going back again, big backflip, there you go. That's why she was going high on that one. Tagged a little bit of back wheel, but it didn't take any speed away. So it wasn't as smooth as she'd have wanted. That one, however, did take some speed out of it. But again, Kim, no stranger to these big competitions, not going to let it phase her. She's getting on with business. Bar spin on that quarter pipe. Not as easy as transferring from quarter pipe to bank when you do a bar spin. If you're doing it straight in the core, a lot more difficult. As are the tail whips as well.
But was it still within the time limit?
Ah, okay, right at the end of the buzzer, as we were saying earlier. The clock starts when your front wheel leaves that coping, heads over the coping, and it finishes when your both tires are on flat ground. So if that buzzer goes and you're in midair and you hit the landing or transition, if the buzzer's already gone, it will not count. Both wheels have to be on flat ground when the...
But what a year it's been for Kim so far this year. That European title in October, in August, national champion, winning the C1 in Aigle at the UCI headquarters. second place at the last stop in Shanghai and 5th at the World Cup. This has been quite a year so far.
Yeah, it really has, yeah.
And right after the World Cup in Shanghai, she took the plane to Australia to go and work with her coach, Josh Curry. Her boyfriend tagging along as well, Dean Florian, who unfortunately did not make it into semifinals today.
Not sure whether you mentioned it as well. She's, of course, the national champion as well at the moment for Germany. There's the judging tower, look at them. Quite literally up there looking judgy. Looking judgmental. So well done, Kim.
Last year's results for Kim, 22nd.
.77.16. Takes her into 7th place. So remember, that's run number 1 done. There's a couple of little tags at the back wheel there. She's not going to be happy that. She's going to want to get that a bit smoother, but to have got a 7th place out of that kind of first score, and then of course that second run is going to average out, and that's the final score. And here we are, the defending champion. Let's just say it. Now, next rider in, somebody I know very well, as I commentate all of the British cycling events that happen. Team GB rider.
Oh, so we just have the updated. Sasha Pardoe will not be riding. She got injured, unfortunately.
That's who must have been injured at the beginning. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sasha. I was speaking to her before. She was so stoked to get involved today, but unfortunately, we go to the champion of champions. Is this rider going to be able to take another crown from Riyadh? Hannah Roberts dropping in. One of the goats of the sport. In we go. Spreads the wings straight over the box, gets things started. Heading over to that box, big backflip, super slow, super stylish, big transfer as well. Then gets up high, bar spin, tucks that front end in again, Egon. Up and high and over the window. What are we going to get first time up and over the spine? No hander.
Come on, Hannah, keep it going. Oh, Axe.